everyone, I'm Mondo here. Welcome to my third review of the cards for Knights of the First Throne for Arena. And we toss the questions as well, right? But usually this is, of course, Arena Perspective Part 3. And I try to do about 10 to 20 cards per video. So because last time I had like one video was like 3-4 hours, right? I was like, oh, it's 100 cards. So now try to do it in shorter little things. And right away here, I have a pretty good card, the Sanguine Reveler. It's obviously very good constructed. In a Zulok deck, you can eat your eggs, you can do 1-1. Yeah, stuff you can eat, right? A lot of small stuff. For me, definitely feels like a cheaper version than a pesticide, right? The beast that eats your double adept. So, and that's quite pretty good in the Zulok. And in Arena, though, I think it's pretty good as well because you don't have to necessarily play Zoo, but if you kill something, let's say you have a 3-3, you kill their 2-3, then it's a 3-1, and you're facing a mage, you know, oh, she can just shoot it down with her ability, or something similar, right? Or they have a 1-1, I can't kill it. Okay, then you might want to eat that 3-1 to get your 3-3 here instead, and okay, you lead to 3-1. So that has some potential there as well. And generally, of course, you can make Zuloks in Arena somewhat efficient. So I think it's a pretty good card, but definitely we see you playing something. And it's a common card though, so I might try it in Arena. And the next card here is very, very bad for Arena, but it's a very card. It's animated Berserker. This card pretty much reminds you of the Imp of Malazar. So when you play a minion here instead of so 1 to the same stats, you damage them, right? So you enrage them. So basically, this is an enraged trigger, right? So you're gonna play this card in your enraged warrior deck, and those decks doesn't exist right now, but it's interesting. People also say, "Oh God, the group Hearthstone is back." Yeah, it's better, but it's like. You still need it to trigger group, you still need it in raid, whatever, right? So it doesn't mean. I don't think this card actually makes group Hearthstone better than when it was before, because basically you need a group and you need another card to trigger group right away. This card also does that, so you have one more trigger, doesn't mean the group is actually better, right? So you can just have other trigger cards. And in Arena, it's obviously horrible. Like, you're not going to play this card. The best card I would say this card is for, generally, you construct this, of course, Actions of Pain, so you play this card on turn 1, and then you can coin Actions of Pain, or maybe die and so on, and you right away get a card, right? That sounds very good. And the battle ratio one sounds very good. So, it might be a really cool deck. It might have a really cool enraged card. Warrior has the new weird weapon, so last part, right? So, this enraged warrior is probably the new deathknight warrior thing. So, it might be really, really good. But I don't know about Arena, though. It's probably just going to hurt your minions. But if you have a lot of enraged minions in Arena and you really go for those, it might be good, but probably not though. However, that being said, 1-3s are pretty good in Arena, because they're kind of hard to remove for many classes. So if you have a lot of cards, it might be, but I don't think so. Then this card, Bring It On. This is a horrible card. This card is just useless. First of all, the +5 armor is the worst card in the game in Arena. Like, it literally is the worst card in the game. Like, yeah, like seriously. I'd rather have Wisp. I'd rather have a Wisp for 0 mana than I would have to play that for 1 mana, get 5 armor. It's so incredibly useless. So I think this card actually, Bring It On, is probably, I will state this here, I think the Bring It On is the worst card in the Arena in the game. Master by that. Like, seriously, 10 armor. Armor has, getting armor and getting life is so little valid in Hearthstone when you play limited. So if you get 10 armor and your opponents gets permanently too, note it's permanently. It's not like when you play Millhouse Monostorm and this next turn is free. No. Their cards in their hand are cheaper, right? And you also note one thing as well. In Arena, you have much more minions than you have spells compared to Constructed. So probably the whole hand is going to get cheaper and they can play stuff, yeah. So this card is probably literally the worst card in Arena ever. Like, seriously. If you pick this card, it would never work out. Even if you have She's Level, it is not worth it. Sounds extremely horrible. In Constructed, it could be okay because you have Brawl, you have Slam, you want to survive. Might be something that really works, but in Arena, it's probably the worst card ever. Like, seriously worst card. Then this card, Howling Commander. It's an interesting card. This reminds you of the mage card that gets you a secret. He gets Howling Divine Shield instead. And that already there, I think this card was pretty bad actually, for Arena especially, because a 2-2 for 3, where she's a 2-3 for 2, right? So it's a better stats. It gets you a secret that you can play right away. This card is like, you get the Divine minion. That's probably worse too, than getting a secret usually, because you have like mirror. You usually have a few secrets in your Arena decks. So you get like Mirror Roar, you get a good secret counter spell if you want to block some spells and so on. If you block Face Strike. And here is that you get a Divine Shield minion. It is just not that good. And one thing right away is that Stone Shield Defender which is an amazing card for Paladin Arena, right? You get your Tyrion, you get your Sanguine Reveler. That's one of the reasons why Paladin is such good Arena right now, because it's so easy with that card to discover the legendary card. Like, if you see that card, you get the legendary card pretty much. And this guy is like, if you have a Tyrion you pick earlier, you get him. So I think it's okay. Not the best card, but that is actually pretty good in Arena though. That the few divine minions you should have, because you have a few with Paladin usually. And if you get Tyrion and so on, this card probably will bring you that, like Sunwalker or whatever, right? So it's probably bringing a pretty good card though. So that has some value, but it really is that good of a card. In Construct, however, so we'll come into that later here, but there's so many Divine Shield team. This is clearly the Paladin team, the Undead Paladin, deathknight Paladin. We haven't seen what it does yet, but we have seen Bolivar coming later here. The weapon coming later as well. They're all extremely Divine Shield focused. So I'm guessing that the Death Knights of Paladin are gonna have like give a minion Divine Shield on that, probably something like that. So this is the team of they are going with. So this card actually might be really mandatory to use in your coming Paladin decks. But I don't know. Then we have this card of Coldwraith, which actually is a really good card, I think, for in Arena. This is actually probably the best card we've seen so far in Arena. They're coming a later card here today that is insanely good, the Bonemare. But this card is pretty good as well. It's basically a 3-4 for 3, and that's a premium stats. There's a 4-3 later as well, but this 3-4 is the better, and you might get a card. Probably not. Waterman is a good card in Arena. You have Frostbolts, you pick your Blizzard, so you might get a card, right? There's potential for it. It's not that uncommon to have something crazy happening. So I think that, like, okay, there is no chance, I would say, in Arena, pretty much, that you will get a card turn 3. This is not a 3-4 for 3 and gets your card turn 3. That's not gonna happen. Like, what would that be? Frostbolt, minion to survive, turn 2, like, no. That will not happen. That's pretty much impossible to Arena. Not impossible, but an extremely low chance. Extremely low chance. And you have to frostbolt something. You have to frostbolt a minion they have, pretty much, and they have to survive it. So they have to play like a 4-4, 3, yeah, like, it's not gonna happen unless they have like Totem Warrior, you frostbolt that, you play this guy out. But then you probably, even then, you kind of just want to shoot that thing, so they can't hit your Coldwraith. So it's like, it's very people happen. So it just pretty much is a 3-4 for 3, right? And that is good. That's a spider thing. It's been good. That's a good minion in Arena. And then later game you might get a card for it, and you play it out with whatever, right? So yeah, like it might be. It's a pretty good card. In Constructed, I have no idea if it's good or not. It doesn't. I don't think there are new freeze minions, but it has good stats. This other minion then, Bearshark, is another good 3 minion, right? Not as good as a Coldwraith, because 3-4 is better than 4-3. This definitely dies from a lot of stuff. However, it can't be targeted. So maybe, when I think about that, in that sense, it's a little better. That has high attack. But I don't actually think so. I think it's still better for 3-4, because even though you can't like wrap this thing, you can't frostbolt this thing, so it doesn't die heavy 3 health. But it has 3-4, it kills at 3-3, right? It leaves with 1 health, and you can't get it away. That is really, really annoying if you have something with like 1 life left. But in this case, it can't trade with like a 3-2 2-drop and survive that. So you just get this have a hard chance of becoming a 4-1. This will probably very seldom become a 4-1. Usually it dies for something, right? Where if it was a 3-4, it would be a 3-1 a lot of times. That would be a lot more irritating, I would say. And get another trade or get another hit in your face. But that being said, it's a pretty good card, not a bad card. You can of course handmaster it. You might visit constructed to play, I don't know. It's easily handmasterable. I think one thing that makes it pretty good though in Constructed is that it exists. Because this new Hunter legendary that you can combine stuff means you can combine this thing with your random whatever you got, right? That means you can have your 2-3 or whatever. There's the Bearshark thing, and that means it's the protection from spells. So you get a really fast minion for like 6-7 mana of that new Make a Beast card, right? And it has protection from spells, or like it can be targeted. So that is pretty good. That could be one thing. So it exists itself. Otherwise, yeah, it might be good. The Handmaster is obviously the classic thing offered it. Then we have this tag, Corpsetaker. A card I actually think is really, really interesting. But I don't think it's that good. Like, I don't want to call this card a bad card. I don't think it's a bad card. I think it's a good card. But I read some comments that people are like, oh my god, this card is the greatest card ever. I don't agree with that at all, actually. Because, first of all, Wind Fury. How many decks are playing Wind Fury minions? Fat Zero. I can't even think of one deck that plays Wind Fury minions. And even if you do, it's like, you have to be a Shaman. Like, the minions don't have Wind Fury on them. So you need to have that to begin with. So, don't look at it because like, oh, it has lifesteal Windfury, it's like 6 life per turn. Like, no. What card are you gonna play as that? You pretty much has to play Alaki in this deck so it gets the effects right. And also, lifesteal that's coming now, and there's gonna be more of those. How many cards has lifesteal? The card everyone's playing is a Paladin card because you want to play Bristleback card, and he has Divine Shield, Taunt, and Lifesteal. That she also has that, so you pretty much automatically get a better Bristleback for, you know, 1 more mana. Probably. So I think this is a very Paladin focus card. It feels like it's Paladin and Shaman and potentially something else. And in Arena, I think it's okay, because if you have a Neutron, if you have those minions, this card also will be another one of those, a Taunt and a Shield minion. So, in the Arena perspective, I think that you will pretty much always have at least 1 Taunt minion. Even top minions aren't that good, they generally aren't that good, right? But there are a few, like Bog Creeper, and the other Taunt minions are very, very good. So you have people of those probably. So she will also have Taunts. So it's like a beer for 1 more mana then. And that is really bad. And will you have Divine Shield in your deck? Maybe. You pick a pain and so on. So I think it's fair to say that she probably is like a 3/3 with Taunt and Divine Shield. That is probably what she would have. Maybe Lifesteal. Maybe Divine Shield. But I think the first one has Taunt. So I think that you have to look at this card in Arena, even if as well. But she's going to be way better for Paladin primarily. Because there you have those minions that have that thing automatically. You have your Tyrion. Best case they have, but he has Divine Shield, Taunt and so on, right? So you have that combo on several cards. And you probably have a card like Lifesteal or Lifesteal Taunt. Lifesteal. They don't know if cards are coming, but they probably are going to be more like Lifesteal Taunt and so on. So, hard to say, but I will just assume these cards are coming are going to make her very, very Paladin heavy. And somewhat Shaman still. I don't think she could be good at like Druid, you also have Taunt and so on. But like Mage. What's a Mage from this card? Like nothing. The only thing you get is probably Divine Shield or you have a Bog Creep or something. Lifesteal, I haven't seen any Lifesteal after that. Wind Fury after, I don't think they will ever get Wind Fury, and so on. So, it feels like a medium card. It's epic too. There's a lot of epic cards, like Meteor or whatever, right, for Mage, which is much better. So, I don't think I should see that much play, except out of Paladin probably in Arena. And that is also probably really excited, to be honest. But it's a pretty interesting card. And it's a cool effect, and probably more with this. But we have this thing, Light Sorrow, and this is actually kind of similar to the Bolvar later here. In Arena, it actually isn't that bad. And that to me tells me that it's probably good constructed, because in Arena, a 1/4, that's a light hand, it's a horrible card. But if you just lose 1 Divine Shield minion, if you have like 4 or 5 Divine Shield minions, so you have to pick a few of them, of course, you're Paladin, so it's easier. If you get 1 of them off, they have a 2/4 weapon for 4. This actually is pretty good. You can kill probably like 3 minions in that, 2 minions, or like buffing up, or a better trade and so on. It feels pretty good actually, yeah. Like if you get 2 minions off, it's 3 for that, and it's amazing. But I think like a 2/4, even at 2/4 status, it's okay. You can probably get it is 8 damage in their face, but I think generally you can get 2-3 minions on it. So it's definitely plus. You have to get a few Divine Shield minions though, but it seems to be reasonable to get that. They probably have more of them as well, because all the undead Paladin have Divine Shield, or don't have what they have. That's the new card, get the Divine Shield and so on. So yeah, why not? It's probably good in Arena if you have the deck, of course. But I mean, yeah, it should have been hard to make it. That being said, obviously you can't pick this card in the beginning. Oh, first pick like Light Sorrow. More like pick 20, right? And in Extracted, I think that should be a good card. Extracted, you have a lot of this Divine Shield thing. Even if Bolvar is horrible or not, this card is probably good. You can hit a few times with it. It's probably easy getting it to be a 3/4. And of course, you can make it a 2/4. You turn you play it, kill something, then next turn you maybe can make it a 3/4. It can still grow, later on, right? So I think it actually is a good card in Constructed. And it probably, as I say again, that I'm very certain that the new Paladin class thing is gonna be Divine Shield something, like give something Divine Shield probably. So I think it's gonna be really good. Maybe like summon one of them. That's something with Divine Shield is. And then we see Bolvar then, Bolvar Fireblood. So this is exactly the same ability pretty much. Exactly the same ability which you saw. So basically they're both getting in 1+1+, right? And that is just sorry from them. Yeah. So basically they're both getting this 1+1+ thing. Per Divine Shield. Oh, here he gets 2, but I mean, yeah, like he gets stronger. And he's soft with Divine Shield, but he's pretty bad. I think he's a horrible card really. It looks so bad because normally the other Bolvar wasn't that good. And he got powered up by being in your hand. You have to actually play out Fireblood here to get him powered up. And he has Divine Shield, but it's kind of like he's still just a big minion with Divine Shield. You can just polymorph him. He does no impact when you play him. He seems really, really bad. But it might be a very, very aggressive deck, the Divine Shield Paladin deck. I have played Divine Shield Paladin, like White Weenie Paladin, way back, like 2 years ago, something like that, and I got legendary with that, and I was okay. That was a deck I played for a while, like a month or so, and that deck was extremely aggressive. You just drop everything, 1 drops with Divine Shield, like, and then you play the Divine's Favor, get more card, drop, and that's probably how this card deck will play out, I think. That's why the weapon is probably like mainly you hit him in the face for like 3 damage per turn on that. And then he might be really good as a finish. You play him at turn 5, trade some stuff. He's like something like an 8/7 or something, right? And you can kill them if you can't remove it. But he still has no input play, so I think it's pretty bad. But he might be. But I think it's much more about if the deck is good, not him. He's not a good card. And then we get to Voodoo Hexer. So I said this last part. I was like, yeah, Shaman's definitely gonna get more freeze. Shaman's gonna get. I am 99% sure of this card that Shaman, Deathknight Shaman is gonna be something freeze, right? Something frozen kill, this blah blah. That weapon thing is gonna be pretty good in constructed. But again, this card looks really bad in arena. In constructed, I think it isn't a good either. It has taunt though. It has taunt. It's like a water elemental with 1 more life, lose 1 attack. That is bad though. So I mean 2/7 or 6 isn't that good. But it has taunt, so it definitely takes them up, it freezes them, it's extremely defensive. So constructed actually is probably pretty good. Because it makes you survive stuff for quite a long time, right? And then you can volcano or something and get the board back, or like, clean the board and then get some really cool plays out. So it probably is good excited. And it probably has the weapon step that you can kill stuff right then that she freezes. And that sounds really good. So I think she will be pretty excited if that Frost deck is good or not. But that deck probably will fit in very good. But in arena I think it's a bad card. It's just kinda like whatever you. Yeah, you probably need other cards to make it work. Maybe Shaman will get a lot more Frost cards, and then with her, she's good like the Frosted Crusher thing. Maybe get more like a spell that kills stuff, like Shatter, or maybe it does like twice the most damage to the freeze. I don't know. Something like that, then maybe she is good, but I don't think so right now. I don't think so. No, this card, Fate Spinner. This is probably my favorite card so far in this whole Knights vs. Throne. Fate Spinner is very interesting. You play this card, it's a 5/3 for 5. Druid card, so you have a choose a pathway, but you pick a death rattle, and it's secretly. This is the first time I've ever seen him doing this. So basically, you have a death rattle on the Fate Spinner, but the opponent doesn't know what you picked. So it's very, very interesting, and this probably means you see more of these cards coming over Druid. I think they're really cool. They have a secret death rattle. You don't know what it actually is. So it's very, very cool, I think. And then that is weird though. It's 3 damage or buff everything. To all minions or buff them. So it's very useful, and that's interesting as well. But primarily, this is probably a really good card in the arena. Actually, it's a really good card. Druid has Swipe, has Starfall, right, and so on. Doesn't really have like a good Flame Strike level of card. This is like a badass. This is like a Hellfire, right? This is pretty much a Hellfire for 1 more mana. You can punch something, so you can hit something with it. Did 5 damage to it and then 3 to it, so 8 damage to the one you trade into and kill everything else. So it's like an extremely good sort of Hellfire AoE ability. It looks fantastic, to be honest. I think it looks really broken. I mean, brokenly good. That being said, though, it's probably it is an arena. It's going to be quite straightforward. If you see this card played in arena, whoever picked this +2 thing, I think it's very interesting. It has the ability. But I can't see it happening in constructed though. You have your token druid, you have your legion, kind of build up a lot of stuff, build the army, be manny and type them. So there you probably actually use auto ability, or maybe sometimes if you use it expose thing to clear some board or whatever. There it could be very interesting. In arena, you see this card being played. I think everyone is always gonna pick pretty much the Hellfire, right? So you can get back if you lose the board and so on. That makes sense. But it's a very good card for Druid. It's a very good epic card. Might be one of the best epic cards we've ever had. Just from being like a kill everything. But then we have this thing. Well, yeah. Arcanologist Bowman. I think it's pretty good. It's a lot of value in arena. It's a lot of value in that. Best case scenario, you get rid of Savannah Hyman and die turn 6, right? But I think generally it's a great card because obviously you play it at turn 7. Probably or coin into 6, and compare to Ogre then, so typical Ogre 6, 6, 7 for 6. This is you playing one more mana, you play one more mana or a coin card then, to also get a beast back. And sure, you probably can get beast. In the arena, it's gonna be way, this bird to be really high. Because Ally Cat and the Razor, and those cards are good in the arena. So you're gonna play like a 1 and 2 double 3 and beast. And that's pretty bad though. But generally though, you still get I would guess in arena, you probably get something like a 2.5 mana back on this card, like a beast card, maybe something better. So, you know, yeah, okay, it's definitely worth it. You're paying 1 more mana for your Ogre to also spawn, compared to the 1/1 plus Ogre, yeah, this thing, or so on. You're pretty much, yeah, you're paying like 1 more mana to spawn something that is worth probably 2.5 to 3 mana. So you earn like 2 mana. So I think it's a good card. Right? Getting more cards back, also good in arena. And of course, you might get really lucky, get like a 7 Hyman or something, and you won the game. So in arena, it's gonna be a really good card. Definitely, I'm sure that this is a good card in arena. And Hunt doesn't have that good epic cards. Generally, I think so. It should be a great card. In constructed, it's probably, I don't know. Like if you play something super slow, kind of control beast hunter or something. That's very few beasts that you can resurrect a big beast. Maybe I mean, if you can resurrect the legendary beast, that is good. Yeah, but it's hard to play. You need very maybe this like, secret hunter thing is gonna have very few beasts in the beginning. Play the petricide, survive, then you can play this guy out. You resurrect your one down beast maybe, but it seems very unplausible. I don't know. It might be good constructed, probably not. Though. Even if you try to do that, it seems highly unlikely. You just, yeah. So really buy it. Then we have this card. This card is so good. This card is so good. I'm already preparing my top 10 card, right? The top 10 most impactful card, top 10 best card coming out of that's the first top arena. And this card I already put in the list is clearly my number 1 so far. The biggest impact in arena. This card looks insane. Well, one thing though with Bonemare, you can see it just here, it's like this pretty much is give something, Blessing of Kings plus taunt, so like a better mark for the wild. The taunt effect isn't really important in the arena that much, it might be important though, so it's still there. So, but even if you just give someone Blessing of Kings, that would be good, right? So yeah, it's good, it's an amazing card. However though, I would say one thing. How do you play arena usually when you win in arena? You always kill their minions. You always kill their minions, especially if they're Paladin, but you still use kill their minions if they're mages and hunters and so on as well. Almost always. This card will extremely much enforce that. So I don't know if we actually changed the gameplay strategy that much. But that being said, I mean, this card is so good. Compared to Blessing of Kings. Blessing of Kings costs 4 mana, and it's a 4/4, right? Buff 4/4. This is buff, do the buff thing, but also get a 5/5. 5/5 is a good stat minion in arena for 3 more mana. So you're basically playing 3 mana to get a 5/5. That is great value for 3 mana. And of course, just to get taunting, which might save you, right? So it just looks ridiculously strong in arena, and it's uncommon. So if you ever was unsure if I'm gonna kill his minions or go for the face, this card is like, yeah, you definitely go for the minions. Even more now, they even get taunt, right? So going, I mean, it really defeats the purpose to go for face because they get taunt, so they can stop you as well. So yeah, this card looks insane. I think there'll be a few other cards that are gonna make this card, like being better than that, but I'm sure it's gonna be in my top 10 neutral cards for National Control easily. Might even be number 1. And I say it right today, but it's so good. Not to emphasize how good this card is in arena. I mean, it has so much value. It's impact for value when you play it too, right? Because it's not just. So look at it, like a 9/9 stat for 7. That also great in arena compared to a War Golem, classic War Golem, the 7/7 for 7, right? That's way more stats. It's 4 more stats. But it also does something right away. So where War Golem actually has less stat in this thing, War Golem is a big minion you play out and you wait next turn. This minion you play it out, this is the big minion, you make an other minion really big, you trade with that minion and suddenly you swing back, right? This is like a Blaze Caller level of card, but you don't need to have elemental. It's just a good card. Yeah, basically it's like a Blaze Caller, for example. It's like a Blaze Caller, but you don't need the elemental effect there, so you just need to have 1 minion to buff, right? Make it plus it by 4/4, like pretty much doing like 5 damage. Pretty much the same thing. So yeah, it looks insanely good. It's even good in I was saying exactly some decks. It looks really insane. I think this is probably could potentially already be the best uncommon card. But yeah, probably the best uncommon card though. I think so. Of the new card, this is probably the best uncommon card that we will see in this for arena. There might be some better epic cards and so on, but this is probably the best uncommon card for sure. Yeah, I think it's so good. Then we have Synergoso here. New legendary. I think it's pretty good. Even extracted, I think it's pretty good. So basically, I can show you the next card here. You get first champions. I like the lore in this card. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Frost them right. So you do any die, you free them, and then you get to play those. So you get these old legendary cards back, so to speak. I think this is even good in constructed. It's an 8/8, which is like, but yeah, she gives you 2 order legendaries. Yes, it's random, but it's like 1 card gives you 2 order cards. And it's way better than like Nefaria, because he give you 2 cards for 1 more mana, but he give you like some random stuff. It was random, but maybe it's even more random because he give you like huge spectrum of cards, right? So he also only gives you current legal legendary cards. This is actually a smaller pool that he give you, and also the legendary pool is stronger compared to like you give me 2 spells from like this man in spells, right? This is like a better pool of cards to get from too. You might get some creep, you might get a really bad card, but generally you probably will get, I don't know, like 4 or 5 value per those cards, which gives her enormous value. So she probably will still play. Definitely in slower mage cards and in control mage decks. And in arena, mage already has a lot of mage is really strong, right? This actually is very threatening for the mage power level in arena, in a way. I mean, she's legendary, so you won't see it that much, but man, this is a good legendary for an arena. So it's an 80 for 8, that's okay, right? Yeah, and you get 2 legendaries. Like Jesus Christ, this gives you so much swing around, so much value. It's a really, really quick card in arena. And there is and mage have Archmage, which is a great card in arena, but not the best card. And I would say it's probably better because Archmage is hard to trigger sometimes. This is just like a better, 2 more legendaries, yeah. And Archmage bad stats too. So even though he's really good sometimes, generally he can be hard to play, right? But she is also gonna be really good, and the other lanes are crap for mage. Like they aren't legal anymore anyway, most of them, but maybe they left fly in the white. But they're saying they're gonna make them legal again, right? So yeah, she's probably the best legendary mage has, and that is big, of course, for mage. But it's still low chance to get her. But yeah, like she will actually increase probably one or so percentage of the mage win, I would say, if you pick it, because it probably is the best legendary you can get. We haven't seen no legendary yet though, so but from what I see right now, yeah, it's very, very strong. And then we have this card, Hadronox, one of the spiders from Sanguine. And this card I'm thinking a lot about. This probably is a good card even in arena. So first and foremost, how does it work? It pretty much is Ensot. You resurrect your fallen taunt minions. It's a druid specific card though, and druid has a lot of taunt minions. So I think this card is actually probably good in arena. Like actually probably really good in arena. I mean, obviously, you need a deck. You need to have your Druid of the Claw. You need to have your Iron Bark or whatever, lore. You need to have some kind of card to have taunt. But when you play Druid, because they are class-specific minions, the taunt minions for Druid is actually good, right? They're actually valid to play. Most taunt minions for the lower cost are really bad, like the 2-3 taunt minions. They aren't that strong, like Frost, Wolf, Ground. Of course, Torpid is a good card, but Sandy isn't that good actually at 3-5 taunt. It's okay, ready to play a Yeti or most other 4-drops. And then you get like Book Reaper, is really good. That's a really good card. And Druid though has those like the 4-6 taunt to the claw. It's a great card compared to the 3-6, right? So you probably have like 2-3 taunt minions in your deck with Druid. If not more. Easily. So you probably have like 5-6 taunt minions. Roughly, I think, per, because the Behemoth is pretty good as well. 3-6 gets you 1-1. Even that is okay for 6 mana. So you use repeat the card, or you hope to get more Yates. So it's a pretty good card, right? And obviously Iron Bark. I guess Volcanic Lumbering is coming back if they change the roots again. That's a pretty good card in arena. There are a couple of really good, basically, taunt minions, and also you have like Tar Creeper, some more decent neutral minions, right, with taunt. So I think you will probably end up with around 5 or so taunt minions. I don't play Druid that much currently, so they're pretty weak. I think I ranked Druid as like rank 8 or something in arena, so I don't play very often right now. But it pretty much like, yeah, I think you have at least 3 to 5 taunt minions, probably around 5, I think. And she will resurrect 5 minions, right? Yeah, it looks really good. Her stats are horrible though, 3-7. The taunt herself, it's better much, but. Yeah, But I think she's gonna be good actually in Arena. It's actually really good. Should always work because you wanna pick the taunt minions. They have a really high value. Know your class cards. In the constructed, yeah, maybe. I mean, it's easy to play. I guess it's interesting. It has that you have to play turn 9, so it's really really late. But because it's a taunt-based minion, it reminds you of the warrior quest, right? Where you wanna play a lot of taunt minions. And if you do that, you automatically survive longer because they are taunt minions. So you play a lot of good taunt minions. You have all the best taunt minions. You play them in a row. It makes you survive. And so she probably works constructed. But I don't know if that deck is good enough, even with her. But yeah, if it's good enough, she might be really strong. She might even be good with all the quests. You pick big guys. You play big guys with taunt primarily. Then she resurrects them and they're all free. Might be something. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Druid deck. The current Druid deck. I don't like it at all. So, but she might see some play in that thing. This is the last card, I think. Yeah, it's the last card. So this is part 3 of Arena perspective. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment if you want about something, how I think about the recent cards, etc. Right? Subscribe. We're gonna give you more of these arena guides coming up here now. And you mentioned it again, Bonemare. Oh god, that card looks insane. That card is already number 1 for me on my top 10 new cards for Arena. I think it looks insanely good. Insanely good. Bomb cards are getting good in Arena, right? This is a bomb card that makes you have another bomb card right away, so you can trade up or kill them. It's so much. Even the taunt matters because you can buff something like a 2/6, and then it's like a 6/10 with taunt. So even that is like a spike with speed feel to it, right? You throw it at something, and then suddenly those like really high health minions are really good, right? So it's just insane. So anyway, see you guys maybe tomorrow. I don't know when next card is coming. Probably next week. Have a great day.